You are replaying the same conversation. Again, the one from 3 weeks ago. You've rewritten your response 17 times in your head. None of it matters. They aren't listening because they aren't there. Your thoughts are a broken record. The needle is stuck in the groove, and you keep turning up the volume, hoping the song will change. It won't. The month is dying. Saturn is closing the books. Your mind is doing what it always does at thresholds. It tries to finish what was never yours to complete. The argument, the betrayal, the missed chance. These are ghosts, and you are feeding them. This is not weakness. Scorpio's nature is to dig, to hold, to never let go until the truth is extracted. But here is the truth. Some wounds are not puzzles to solve. They are simply wounds. I have watched this pattern destroy brilliant minds. The loop is not the problem. The problem is believing the loop will give you an answer. It won't. It will only give you exhaustion. Notice how your jaw clenches when the thought returns, how your stomach tightens. That is not memory. That is your body, trapped in a moment that ended weeks ago. You are dragging a corpse through your present and calling it processing. Let me show you what the loop is actually doing to you, and why silence, real silence, is the only scalpel sharp enough to cut it. The loop has a structure. It begins with a trigger, a song on the radio, the scent of their cologne in a passing stranger, a word someone uses at dinner. Suddenly, you are no longer here. You are back in that moment, the one where you were betrayed, or where you failed, where you said the wrong thing, or said nothing at all. What happens next is ancient. Your mind believes that if it replays the scene enough times, it will discover the correct response, the one that would have changed everything. The perfect comeback, the boundary you should have set, the truth you should have spoken. This is what psychologists call the unfinished business effect. The psyche obsesses over what was never completed. But here's the trap. The business was never unfinished. It was simply painful. And pain does not need resolution. It needs acknowledgement. Scorpio carries the energy of the investigator, the one who must extract meaning from every wound, every shadow, every betrayal. This is your power. You see what others miss. You feel what others bury. But when this gift turns inward, when you begin interrogating your own past with the same ferocity you would use on an enemy, you become both the prisoner and the warden. You lock yourself in a cell made of questions that have no answers. Carl Jung wrote about this. He called it the shadow's repetition compulsion. The parts of yourself that were rejected, the anger you were taught to suppress, the need for revenge you were told was ugly. They do not disappear. They cycle through your thoughts, demanding to be seen. The loop is not random. It is your shadow knocking on the door. And every time you ignore it, every time you try to think your way past it, the knocking gets louder. Here's what I want you to do, right now. Notice where the thought lives in your body. When the loop begins, where do you feel it first? Your jaw clenches, your chest tightens, your stomach drops. That is the real location of the wound. The mind is just the messenger, delivering pain the body has been holding for weeks, months, years. If you keep running this loop, you are not processing. You are rehearsing, and every rehearsal deepens the groove. You are teaching your nervous system that this pain is home, that this tension is normal, that this is what safety feels like. It is not. It is a cage you built from thoughts that were never meant to be architecture. So what happens when the record is broken beyond repair? You do not try to fix it. You remove the needle. You stop the machine. But first, you must understand what the machine is protecting you from. And that is where most people turn away. You tell yourself you are working through it, that if you think about it long enough, clarity will come, that the loop is a process, not a prison. This is the lie your mind whispers to keep you circling. What you are actually doing is negotiating with ghosts. And ghosts do not negotiate. They do not apologize. They do not even remember you were there. The culture sold you closure like it was a product on a shelf. Confront them. Get the apology. Make them see what they did. Understand their side. Find peace. But here is what I learned watching souls collapse under this weight. Closure is a myth. Most of the time, the person who wounded you does not even remember the moment. Or worse, they do remember, and they simply do not care. They moved on. You are the only one still standing in the courtroom, delivering your opening statement to empty chairs. I spent 2 years replaying a betrayal. Every night, the same trial. I had entire conversations in my head. I was eloquent. I was devastating. I won every argument. I dismantled their excuses with surgical precision. And none of it mattered. Because the person I was destroying in my mind was living their life, laughing at dinner parties, sleeping soundly. I was the only defendant and the only judge. The courtroom was my skull. The Stoics knew this trap. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." The loop exists because you are trying to control what already happened. You are trying to rewrite a chapter that is bound in leather and locked in a vault. You cannot change the past. You can only stop feeding it your present. Scorpio, your ruler is Pluto, the planet of death and rebirth. But rebirth is not gentle. It requires the old form to die. The loop is the old form. The version of you that needed them to understand, to see you, to kneel and say they were wrong. That version must die, not because it was weak, but because it served its time, and now it is a ghost haunting your future. I know this feels like defeat. Letting go without closure feels like they won, like you are swallowing the injustice and calling it peace. But they did not win. You are simply refusing to keep playing a game where the rules were designed to break you. The loop is not healing. It is rehearsal for a confrontation that will never come. And every rehearsal teaches your body that this tension is home. So how do you stop the record when your mind carved the groove so deep? How do you step out when the path feels like the only ground you know? There is only one way, and it is not what you think. The answer is not more thinking, not journaling, not therapy sessions where you dissect the wound for the 100th time, not affirmations whispered in the mirror. Those tools have their place, but right now, what you need is the opposite of analysis. You need silence, real silence, the kind that makes your skin crawl, the kind you have been avoiding since the loop began. Silence is not emptiness. Silence is not giving up. Silence is the space where the loop loses its fuel. Your thoughts are a fire. Every time you engage, argue back, rewrite the script, justify your position, you add wood. The fire grows. Silence starves it. Here is what you do. 1 hour. No phone, No music, no podcast, no book, no distraction of any kind. Just you and the air in the room. Sit, walk, stare at the wall. It does not matter. What matters is that you stop feeding the machine. The first 10 minutes will be hell. Your mind will scream. It will throw every loop at you. The betrayal, the moment you should have spoken, the anger you swallowed, the shame you buried. It will feel like drowning. Let it. Do not fight it. Do not try to meditate it away or breathe through it. Just watch. Like you are watching a stranger's thoughts scroll across a screen. Because in a way, you are. These thoughts are not you. They are echoes. The Desert Fathers, Christian mystics who lived in caves for decades, called this the first battle. The mind, when deprived of distraction, weaponizes memory. It will use every tool it has to make you run. But if you sit with it, if you do not flinch, something shifts. The thoughts lose their teeth. The loop begins to slow. Scorpio, you fear stillness, because stillness means vulnerability. When you are moving, thinking, plotting, analyzing, you feel in control. But control is the cage. Silence is the key. And you are braver than you think. Notice what happens around minute 30. The thoughts are still there, but they are quieter, farther away, like voices from another room. This is the moment. This is when the groove starts to lift. If you do this, truly do this, you will feel the loop loosen. Not disappear, loosen. And that is enough. Because once you feel it loosen, you remember something you forgot. You are not the thought. You are the one who can choose to stop thinking it. This is not a one-time fix. This is a practice, a discipline, Saturn's gift. And as we move into Aquarius season, as the mental air clears the emotional water, you will need this skill, because the next chapter requires a clear mind, not a haunted one. We have walked through the loop together. You have seen its structure, its purpose, its lie. The loop is not your enemy. It is a messenger. It came to show you where you are still holding on, where you are still waiting for a past that will never apologize. I am Onyx. I am the mirror you avoid. But I am also the only one who will tell you this truth. You are not broken. You are breaking open. And what is breaking open is the shell you built around a wound that no longer needs protection. It needs air. So here is your choice. You can keep running the loop. You can keep the record spinning. It is familiar. It is safe. It is yours. Or you can sit in 1 hour of silence and see what happens when you stop negotiating with ghosts. This is not a deadline. The stars do not punish you for hesitation, but they do ask, how long will you carry this? The window is open, January 31st to February 2nd. The energy supports release, but the choice, as always, is yours. As the sun enters Aquarius, the focus shifts from emotional depth to mental clarity, from the loop to the breakthrough. We will talk about what comes after the silence, what is born when the old thoughts finally die. But first, you must sit with the silence. You are stronger than the loop. You are deeper than the wound. Scorpio does not break. Scorpio transforms. And transformation begins the moment you stop running from the fire and start sitting in it, watching it, letting it burn what needs to burn. 1 hour, no phone, just you and the truth. See what speaks when the noise stops. I will be here when you return. And if you hear something in that silence, something you have been avoiding, we will talk about that next.